The grind never stops, neither do we. Back at it again, looking for some picks, just like you. Just like you. Other than I was in a suit not too long ago, and now I'm looking like I work construction because I've been grinding. This is the grinding outfit. Get you some Carhartt and grind it out with me. We went 2-1 last night. A profitable night. That's about zero point 0.82 units. So if you bet $100, you're 182. If you bet 100 on all three picks, it's not bad if you can do that every day. I think you'll be pretty happy with the results. Might be able to pay your good portion of your rent or mortgage there. Before we get to the picks, let's count our bread. Let us discuss our winners and loser. We had a two-leg. We came out hot, plus 102, two-leg of the Pelicans game. They were home. We had CJ, they dominated. We had CJ McCollum over 2.5 assists. We paired that with the Pelicans minus 3.5 points. That was an alt spread. We get the money, easy money. I think we cashed in the third quarter other than having to wait to finish with the spread. Second pick was our only loser of the night. We had the Miami Heat at home against the Pistons under 217.5. Not sure what happened with the Heat there, giving up 110 points. They did get 118, so they won. I think they covered. They were very close to covering. But we didn't get the money there. Heat defense let us down. We'll probably stay away from the Heat. We don't have a good track record with that team. Very hard to catch. And then we had our unicorn. I would say our cash cow or cash unicorn, Porzingis to score over 17.5 points. He finished with 24. Heartbreaking loss of the Celtics. Very interesting. I thought about taking the Cavs with the points there, but I didn't. But anyway, why you're here for the three picks. You're here to get some money, some free money, like I always say. And we're coming off with Chet Holmgren over 15.5 points. This is minus 115 in MGM. This is going to sprout up to 16.5 in no time. I would still take it there. And I know Chet failed us recently, but overall, like I said, we got cash cows and we got cash unicorns, and he might become a cash unicorn overall in the season. He's won us some money. So we're going to stick with him, stick by his side, or averaging 17.1 on the season, 18.1 over his last 10. Now, his last 10, he had two duds, two bad scoring games with 15 and 14. If you want to call that a bad scoring game for a rookie. But before those two unders, he has over his points against the spread, if you would say, is against the spread on points per game, 5 in a row. So 5 and 2 over his last 7 against the point spread, his individual points. This is his fourth game versus the Blazers. His first two, he scored 16 and 19 points. In the game where he scored 16 is his only game in Portland. He did not miss a shot, 6 for 6 from the field. Overall, he's shooting 72% in those 3 games versus Portland, his 3 career games, and 62.5% from 3. This is kind of outrageous. It sounds like a matchup problem. My only hope is that this game doesn't end up being a blowout, 30 plus points in the second quarter. Our second pick, we're going with another guy who is a cash cow. You know, you got to lean on your cash cows when you're trying to get over some bumpy terrain. I like Stephen Curry over 26.5 points. He's at home after a 4-game brutal road trip. He's at home, and including the last game where he only had 4 points in that Boston massacre. So we're happy to see him back. I think the crowd does get behind him. Bit of an inconsistent funk, I would say, over his last 10, averaging 22.7, which is a 4.3 dip from his 27 points per game on the season overall. His last matchup against Milwaukee at home, he had 36 points with 6 threes. It was a very classic Steph Curry game, but that game did feature Drew Holiday and Grayson Allen, both starting in the backcourt, who are formidable opponents. Both can probably chase Steph Curry around better than anybody on the Milwaukee squad today. They've always struggled with guarding opposing point guards, and even though their defense has tightened up recently with Doc Rivers working with them, having some time, they haven't played many good teams over those last 5 games. So you look at it, I think the Wizards are in there. So this is a different sense when you have the Warriors, who have a very prominent system and a dominant system at that, in which they play in. Wasn't too long ago, Dame Lillard was on the other side of a Stephen Curry 62-point game a couple of years ago against the Blazers when Dame was a part of the Blazers. And I think since the Warriors are in a little bit of a funk, they're back home after 4 brutal games on the road, they're going to come out and play their way. They practice. I'm sure they practice their exact system to the T, because that's how they know how to win. And I'm sure it's very fresh in everyone's mind. You have Chris Paul getting some extra practice in. You got Draymond Green still actually playing above expectation. So I really do think they get Steph Curry going early, maybe a 40-point game for Curry. Our last pick, we're going to fade somebody here who's been a cash cow on the overs We're going to take Kawhi Leonard under 2.5 3 points made at Houston. That's the Rockets, if you're unfamiliar. That's minus 125 on DraftKings, minus 130 on MGM. And it wasn't too long ago before the line for Kawhi Leonard 3 points made was 0.5. Now all of a sudden it's 2.5, a little inflated if you ask me, even though he is shooting a great percentage from three for the season. I don't see enough volume. In his last 10 games, he's hit at least 3 threes twice. So 20% hit rate there. Half of those games with 4 3-point attempts or fewer. He had a couple of games, 2 3-point attempts. So, but if you look at it, 1.25 3-point attempts over his last 4, which is down 0.8. He averages 2.2 3-point attempts on the season. Rockets do a decent job holding their opponents to low 3-point percentage. At home, their opponents shoot 32.8%, which is the second lowest split for a team at home guarding the 3, and pretty consistent with their overall production, holding teams to the third lowest 3-point percentage for the season. I do think the Clippers come out trying to dominate and establish themselves as the better team because they are. They lost 3 of the last 5 and just haven't been playing as sharp as they used to. So I think they come out, and I don't think Kawhi Leonard is going to play with his food and waste too much time beyond the 3-point arc. I think he's going to try to get in the lane, get some and ones, be physical because that's his game. He's the old dog in there. There's some young pups, and Kawhi is just too strong, too smart, and too much of a bag, especially from the mid-range, to play around from 3. I do think this one hits. This is why he's the thumbnail athlete. You could put 2 units, but I say 1 unit all around, and those are my 3 picks. I'm going to parlay all 3 picks, absolutely. I probably do it on MGM, even though Kawhi is minus 130 there. I haven't done that yet, so I don't have the odds. But good luck. Tonight is the sweep. You heard it here first. I say it every time, so this makes no difference. But I really feel this one. Have a good one. Best of luck.